welcome back to my series Greenhouse Chores. I'm so excited to be hanging out with you guys today. I'm filming this intro the day after I actually filmed the video because for some reason some of my files were lost or corrupted or something on my memory card and we lost the intro. Classic. So you will remember that I have my big Monstera Deliciosa, and one of the number one things that I've been wanting to do lately is to overhaul it and give it a makeover. So I lost the footage of me chopping it up, but basically I just chopped it at the lowest leaf, like a little bit under that, and then I was able to also dig out some of the aerial roots so that we could maintain some bit of a root system. And I think that's the only thing that we missed. So let's get into the video. Okay, so I wanted to show you what we have as far as the plant, what's left. This is a lot. We've got some good amount of roots here, which I'm happy about, but I do not have a pod that will be big enough for this. Like the biggest that I have is like this one, which is maybe like an 8-inch pot. And yeah, nothing bigger than that. I think that we have to go on a field trip to the plant store. And maybe while I'm there, if I can find a new plant to put in here. It did not survive my neglect. It did not survive. I'm thinking though, maybe if I like cut it all down, maybe it'll regrow. You know when you go to the garden center for literally one thing and then you end up with a car full of stuff? Yeah, it was a good day. First and foremost, say hello to Miss Fern. It's huge. I feel like it looks so much bigger in my small greenhouse than it did at the garden center. But that's fine. I wanted to get a really big fern because I want to hang it like, let me show you where I want to hang it. Kind of like right here, like this vibe. Yeah, and I want to make a hanging pot for it so that it can't, like, have you seen those like wood pots? It's kind of like sticks like stacked on top of each other. People put like orchids in them and anthurium. That's the vibe that I'm going for here. And I kind of want it to like jut out from the wall like this. Number two, this huge pot, which is for the next plant I'm going to bring in. It's very heavy. I think a majority of the money that I spent today was on pottery because when you get pots this big, they get pretty expensive. But I don't know, pottery is one of those things that I don't mind spending more-ish money on because you can keep it forever on like a plant that could possibly die. You'll have the pottery forever unless it breaks. When I tell you I have wanted one of these plants for years, ever since I moved to Missouri and I saw one at Vintage Hill, I have wanted one. And you might be wondering what this is because honestly at this point it just looks like a basic plant. I'm gonna put a picture of the bloom on the screen. It's called a Biltmore like ballroom gown Yeah, Biltmore ball gown. This is what the blooms look like, and they are big and beautiful, and the sun just came out from behind a cloud. Yeah, they're just absolutely stunning. I've always been told that it's really easy to care for, so I'm just really excited to now have the space for one, and like a big one at that. I just am so excited. I don't know where I want to put it. On the ground somewhere, maybe in that corner over there. I don't know, but it's gonna go in this pot that I just showed you. And she told me to if I keep up with pruning, then it'll stay really bushy, because I do want it to be like a tree. But you could also make it more like I don't know, what are those things called? Like a bush. But I definitely want to keep pruning it like a tree. I'm probably gonna cut this and this. And she also told me that it's really easy to propagate. Like, she just puts it directly into soil. So yeah, I'm gonna experiment with that for sure. And then the actual reason why I went to the store, a pot for my Monstera and some pond plants. I am so excited about these pond plants, you guys. So if you're local to me, I went to Helmy's Garden Center. And oh, this is not a pond plant, but it's a platycerium or a staghorn fern, and I really want to mount it on something pretty and then also hang that like somewhere along the wall. I also saw somebody put these in these things, like you just kind of do this with it, and I actually think I'm gonna do that and then find another solution for hanging a plant out there. And which might just be not having a plant hanging at all, because clearly I cannot keep up with it. So as far as the pond plants go, this one can be grown as not a water plant, but they had it growing in water, so there's lots of roots down here. But this is a queen tut grass, and I absolutely love the colors. It's so pretty. I'm gonna do a little bit of pruning on it just to remove some of this like old stuff so that it looks pretty. But yeah, I'm super excited about this. I actually saw Laura from Garden Answer planting these in her planters, like in the center of them, and then having the beautiful plants, flowers like cascading around it, which I think is really cool. Anyway, I've never seen it sold at a store, but I didn't ever think to look in the pond plant section. Anyway, they told me that it could go in soil or it could just be a water plant, which I will be keeping it in this soil situation, maybe giving it like a slightly bigger pot, but generally I'm not going to do anything intense. She also said that they really don't like having amazing soil. Like, I could honestly just use like the native clay from around here and it would be fine. So this is going to go in the pond. I thought that would be really nice to give it some height as well. Okay, the fun little bit of a splurgy pond plant. I think this was like 50 bucks. Yeah. This is a water lily. And it doesn't look like much right now, but that's what the flowers look like. And these leaves are variegated with pink. Look at how beautiful. It really reminds me a lot of a pink princess. Like, it has the same type of variegation as a pink princess. I'm so excited. This is gonna be so cool. Like, I don't know. I'm really excited to see how it does. And then lastly, I got a couple water hyacinth, which they told me are just floating plants and they can very easily just like take over. So I was like, oh, that's great. I want that. I want the coverage. And yeah, so that's what that little bunch looks like all together. All in all, I am super excited and feeling positive about my future pond. I'm gonna go inside and eat lunch and just, you know, chill out for a second, but we will be coming back out here because even though it's a little bit more sunny now, it still is not that hot out here, which is great. So I can like actually feel good about being in the greenhouse and not frying alive. Okay, my friends, now that we have the pot, we are ready to pot up this plant. And listen, I'd be lying if I said that I didn't want to reuse some soil, so I think I am going to do that. I think what I'll do is just dump it like this, you know? Do a little bit of this action. All right, I'm using my last bag of De La Tanks for this. I'm really sad about that I need to get more. Okay, for the final placement of the Monstera, I'm thinking here, next to my white ghost bone cactus euphorbia. I think that'll be cute. It'll make this area look really full, especially if and when I eventually put up the fern right there. However, this pot is very heavy, like so heavy. It's gonna take me a second to get it over here. I brought up this cement block thing because I think having it a little bit off the ground will make this slightly easier. I don't know if that's actually true, but I just felt like it would be better if it was slightly elevated. All right, here we go. You guys, this thing easily weighs like 100 pounds or more. So heavy. Gotta readjust this real quick. There we go. Extra tall pole. I don't know. It looks so much better. Now the objective is to just make sure that I keep it very moist because we are soil propagating. There were definitely some roots left over from before, but I am expecting some leaf loss. And if that happens, it's okay. Okay, next up on our agenda is the pond. I need to fill it back up with water. Okay, so my new hose is just slightly too short to reach the end of the greenhouse, which is so annoying. I now have to fill up a watering can to water over there, but as I showed in a past Greenhouse Chores video, whew, I'm seeing spots. It is getting hot. As I showed in a previous video, I purchased a little pump to use to hook up to the rain barrels so that I could use water from that for in here. So yeah, I basically just need to get on top of that and do that because that will make this whole situation so much easier. Do I regret not running water up here? Yeah, I do. I should have. I really should have done it because we dug a trench. We might as well have. But, you know, live and learn, I guess. Live and learn. Okay, I really want to know what all of these pond plants are going to look like sitting in the pond together with water in it. So I'm going to put some more water in it and then turn on the little fountain thing and see what it all looks like. I do also need to get some like rocks and stuff like that. I need to find them. I don't know exactly where to find rocks. Like I just need a couple. So I don't know. I'm gonna look at some inspo pics as well to see if I can find some cool inspo for how people kind of like set these up. But I feel like I'm good on plants. And oh, I also wanted to update you. I'm not going to be putting goldfish in here. I got a lot of comments, which I was hoping for, of people saying not to put goldfish in here and that there's other fish that you could put in here like minnows and just a few other suggestions. So I am definitely taking that to heart. I will not be putting goldfish in here. I'm not trying to torture any fish or animals in the process of having this pond. But yeah, I feel like a couple of fish would be cute. So I'm gonna get some minnows, I think. I wanna set it all up first and make sure it's all good before I bring anything alive other than plant, to double check that the environment will be okay for them, you know, all of those types of things. If I need to put any like dechlorinating white or drops, or I don't know, I need to research. Obviously I haven't done much research besides reading the comments where people were like, no goldfish, heard. So for now, instead of rocks, I'm just gonna use these bricks and see if I can, I don't know, situate them around to work for my purposes here. It already stinks. Some of the plants had a lot of like pre-existing green icky stuff, and I didn't know if I should like remove that or if it was beneficial for the plant. I'm such a rookie when it comes to water stuff. I didn't want to ruin anything, but it is gross. Stinky for sure. How does this do on that? Okay, cool. I am gonna have to find a way to weigh this down because it is floating. I did want to give it a bigger pot. I've got these old net pots that I used to use, hoping that that will work. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to cut it out. There's a daddy long leg on this. Checking out my new plants. Yeah, that's a new plant, little guy. I am dripping water all over myself, but honestly, I don't really care because it is just so warm. I don't know. Yeah, no. Not gonna work. All right, we'll try this one with the rocks on top. Yes. Okay, so this is after the pond has been sitting for a little bit. Everything is settled, and the water lilies actually did like come up higher to reach the surface. And it just looks so cute. I just love the vibe. I love that these kind of settled in back here. The last couple of hours they've been kind of just floating around, but I like that they're just back there living their best life. And now I'm wondering, like, I feel like I do need more pond plants. I saw in a picture from Pinterest, somebody had something like hanging over. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know. I am definitely going to be doing a lot of searching around to find, you know, just more things that I can put in here, more ways that I can make it special. But yeah, this is it as of right now. So I reorganized this. I put some little pots as risers underneath all of the plants. Got some more plants over here. This is the pump for my hose that I'll eventually have in here. And I guess under there is where I'm going to put the anthurium, rather unceremoniously, because I just hate to see them suffering, and they definitely are with all of this light. It's just unfortunately too much for them. So until I figure out another solution, this is what is going to have to be. Well, thank you so much for joining me on a very eventful plant chores in the greenhouse day. Greenhouse chores. I still need to work on this. Thank you so much for joining me for another greenhouse chores day. I just love being out here. It was such a treat, even though I think I was gonna pass out for a second there because it got so hot. Yeah, it's just so fun to be out here and have this space and see it just a little bit more full every time I come out and work on it. It's just so fun. Make sure that you're subscribed if you're not already for more greenhouse chores videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.